good friend of mine, as well as my own personal kinesiologist, chiropractor, Dr. Jason Horowitz. And today we're gonna glean some good information from Dr. Horowitz, who's so knowledgeable about all the issues that we're facing now in the fall. So first I want Dr. Horowitz to tell a little bit about himself professionally.
Yes, and thank you very much for having me. This is a wonderful opportunity. And I am a holistic chiropractor and also a kinesiologist. Kinesiology is a form of energy medicine. It's trying to scan the organs and bones and muscles of the body to look for weaknesses, and I use muscle testing to help me with that. And I use natural ways, including vitamins, minerals, homeopathic remedies, as well as diet, exercise, lifestyle changes to affect a change in the body.
Right, that's great. This time of year, people tend to get colds and viruses and flus, and their bodies are going into some kind of detox. So I've been addressing it in my blog with, prevention and some home remedies, but I want to know if you could explain to us what's going on with the immune system.
Sure, absolutely. The immune system is actually just a system of the body that involves several different organs, glands, etc. And its point is to try to defend us from infection, disease, illness, sickness. This time of year is typically the most challenged time of the year for the immune system, which is why they call it cold and flu season.
Right. So now that you've educated us a little on the immune system, what's the best way to boost it?
Right, great question. And if I had only one take-home thing, the most important thing that you could do and put into action right away, it's these natural ways that are pretty simple and easy to boost your immune system at home, not even using remedies. Number one is to get enough sleep. And I see so many people that are sleep deprived. The human body needs at least 7 hours of sleep a night, ideally 8. So 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night every single night. That's the single best thing you can do to boost the immune system. Number two would be to drink enough water. There are so many people walking around chronically dehydrated, sometimes not even knowing it. But you want to drink slowly and steadily water throughout the day, all day long. And number three would be exercise. A moderate amount of exercise for most people, most days of the week. Now, if you do not enough exercise, or if you're not intense enough with the exercise, you may not get the effect of boosting your immune system. And conversely, if you exercise too hard, too much intensity, to a point where you're sore for more than a couple of days, to a point where you're exhausted or getting headaches afterwards, that's too much, and that would actually decrease your immune system and your immunity. So moderate levels of exercise.
Those are great things, and these are things that people think are just regular things, but these are the important things to do.
Absolutely.
What are the top 3 factors that suppress immunity?
Yes, top 3 factors would be diet, stress levels, and also history or of previous infection that never cleared up. When it comes to diet, I like to keep it simple myself, and what I recommend to people is eat well and healthy most of the time and in moderation, and know that there are certain foods that are inflammatory and that are refined, etc., that will decrease your immune system and create inflammation in the body. Also, diet can affect the presence of yeast in your body. Yeast sometimes might otherwise be known as fungus or thrush or candida, but the presence of that in your body has a strong negative effect on the immune system. So diet, absolutely, stress levels, and also, just in general, keeping a healthy, clean lifestyle.
Right, and you mentioned having had a previous infection.
Yes, previous infection. If you have previous infections that have cleared up successfully and you've worked with them, you're actually going to get a positive immune response and a boost to your immune system. But if there's an infection either in your recent past or a severe infection in your long ago past, the best example is mono. It's something that will negatively affect your body for many years after the fact because it may not completely clear up. Even if you're feeling better and the symptoms have gone away, sometimes the infection itself does not completely clear. And the presence of that latent infection, we call it, has a negative effect on the immune system.
Right. And in your practice, can you test for the presence of an infection that maybe doesn't have clinical symptoms but did not really go away?
Absolutely. I find these kinds of latent infections all the time, and always address them. Clear them out both through hands-on work as well as using some natural remedies if needed.
That's great. And can you tell me a little bit more specifically about stress?
Yes, absolutely. Stress, as we mentioned, is a strong negative impact on your immune system. And the important message is it's not the presence of the stress, because we all have stress. It's ubiquitous. It's the response that you have to the stressor. It's how you respond to it, how you deal with it, or how you don't deal with it can have a major impact on your body. So work with it and know that it's there, and do some techniques that you have available to you to try to reduce stress in your life.
That's great. A very important one in our environment here in New York City,
modern
for sure.
world, absolutely.
Yeah. Now I have to ask, the big monster in the closet, dum dum dum, strep. Everybody's so afraid of strep. We test, we do, we're crazy. Oh, does my kid have strep? What do you think?
Right. I have spent a great deal of my career and my practice trying to debunk the myth of strep throat and the fear surrounding it. And it's largely driven by medications and really antibiotics. The sayings go by most medical doctors that if you don't treat a strep throat infection, that it's dangerous for you, and also that there's no other treatment for it than an antibiotic. So the first part of it is true only in a case of strep throat that goes untreated and you continue to be sick for a long period of time. If it goes for more than a couple of weeks out of control, then it could go to your heart or cause some other problems if it goes deeper into your body. The second part of that myth is absolutely untrue. Of course, there are several ways to treat a strep throat other than using an antibiotic, and of course we have an immune system. We have parts of our body that produce immune responses to try to recognize the infection and kill it on its own. And so what we try to do is boost the immune system in natural ways, in ways that don't work against the body, but help the body create an immune reaction faster, recognize the infection and kill it, and do this without the use of antibiotics.
That's great. I know you've taken care of my family with strep and no antibiotics. And
that's right.
It's absolutely positive and a great method because it doesn't come back then.
Yeah.
You know?
And I will say this, I don't want to be medical bashing, and I do see and have situations where you have to take antibiotics, but I do also believe that they're vastly overprescribed, and that the body should first be given a chance to see if it can do the work on its own before you would then go to the medical intervention.
A lot of my subscribers know you as Dr. Horowitz, but I want to give them a different view. I want to get some fun facts about you that maybe they don't know. So, spill.
Okay, very good. I would say that most patients do not know just how silly I am, and it might even be called immature sometimes, but I know that my kids, they definitely see that side. I have a 6-year-old boy who just started first grade, and I have a boy and girl twins that are just about to turn 3, thank you, and they definitely know my silly side because I love to roll around on the floor and play with them and get dirty just as much as they do.
That's great. And give me another one.
Sure,
What else
another
don't
one.
people know?
Well, I'd say for sure. I would say most patients don't know that I definitely have a sweet spot for chocolate chip cookies.
Oh.
I love chocolate chip cookies. And then one last thing, some patients may know, but not everybody, that how much I love exercise. I do a lot of running, and I've run some marathons and some half marathons and some adventure races. And I also love going to the gym and doing weight training in the gym. I do them both pretty regularly in my life.
So I think probably your love of sports is what made you become so specialized in sports chiropractics also.
Absolutely. I've always loved watching sports and playing sports. I'm a fanatic for most New York teams and follow them regularly. And through playing sports and loving exercise and also being a chiropractor and studying the body, it just comes naturally that I have that niche, and I love treating people with sports injuries and helping them train and get to the next level in what they do. You know, just the same way that I love treating little kids and little babies, because that's my life as well.
Yep, that's great. I think you're awesome, and I think you're so smart, and I'm so happy that you are here to share all of this with my subscribers. And on my website you'll have contact information for Dr. Horowitz if anybody wants to get in touch with him, or you can leave comments to have Dr. Horowitz answer any questions. Thanks for joining us today. Stay in touch.